Welcome back to more Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. In the last episode, poor Princess Zelda, she was kidnapped from the sanctuary, and now it's time to go try and put some order back into Hyrule. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So, it's actually time to go back and revisit Hyrule Castle now that I have the Master Sword. If you remember, I was told that Princess Zelda was taken by the guards to the highest tower in the castle. Place a little bit more hostile. These guys throwing bombs all over the place. But I am well equipped to do this. No worries. Nobody panic. Here we are again. Excellent soundtrack as always. You'll notice there are more enemies around this time. That's not so bad. And my goal is going to be to climb as high as I can here. And there's this barrier in place, but now with the Master Sword, I am able to just break through it, thankfully. Alright, so these guys are the gold ball and chain troopers. They're stronger than the little gray ones that we saw previously, but they're not so bad, especially if you can shoot beams out of your sword. It takes a little bit of patience if you're doing it this way, but it's a lot safer, I'll tell you that much. You can also stun them with your boomerang and then hit them. That's always helpful. And these are sword knights. They're fairly aggressive, as you can see. They storm towards me right away. A lot of this is going to be in the dark, unfortunately. Gotta navigate my way through this little maze. These little eyeball-looking things, they're called chasupas. It's kind of a weird name. It's kind of like a chalupa, which are delicious. In this case, I would not eat one of these, though. I'm a little lost here, not gonna lie. Sometimes when you're in these dark rooms, you kind of have to listen for the enemies, so you know if they're coming towards you, so on and so forth. You gotta be a little bit more strategic. Rely on your other senses. We need more pots in here. I need to throw pots at these guys. It's the sort of stuff that makes me happy. Let's see if I can throw this at somebody. Nice. Yes, I don't know how he ended up dying. It looks like he fell in place, but I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to throw more pots. Who's next? That guy. Oh, he hit me, but he took the pot to the face. That's alright. Still in the dark here. You could go around and use your lantern to light the candles, but it's really not worth it. Because by the time you're done dealing with the enemies, you're ready to leave the room anyways. No point in making a light at that point. So here we got some spear knights. And as the name implies, they throw spears and they kind of run away from you, which makes them tricky. It's a Molink. Even with a Master Sword, he cannot inflict physical harm on the wizard. He must find a way to return his own evil magic power against him. So that seems to be a theme in a lot of Zelda games. A lot of the bosses, you kind of have to deflect their own attack back on them. And I'm certainly going to be doing that. That's going to come into play. Another little chasupa, and could use the boomerang to grab the key here. Or you could just lift the pot. You know me. I like the pots. I like to break them. Going around, I'm going to break the pots. Let's break them. I don't really care about the items inside, I just care about the carnage. The pot carnage. So lots of enemies here, and let me use that ether that I got earlier so you guys can see. And it basically freezes the enemies. And certainly makes life a whole lot easier. Especially when there's a good variety of enemies on a screen like this. because then you have to deal with multiple different types of attacks. Really have to manage your range. We're almost at the top though, nobody worry. Zelda, I'm coming, said Link, as he made his way through the tortuous little hallways. Careful not to fall here, dare I say. So we're at the top.
Aha, Link, I've been waiting for you. I thought I would make Zelda vanish before you. Behold, Princess Zelda's final breath. Ho ho ho, with this, the seal of the seven sages is at last broken. It is now only a matter of time before the evil power covers this lands completely. After all, the legendary hero cannot defeat us, the tribe of evil, when we are with the power of gold. Ho 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 ho.
Alright, pretty dramatic. Looks like he's gone, but you can actually slash through here.
Ho ho ho, you seem to want to finish me off. Then allow me to make your wish come true.
Alright, so again, here you're going to have to reflect the attacks. Immediately I think of Phantom Ganon in Ocarina of Time, or even the Ganondorf fight. Always deflecting the energy beams. It's actually a pretty straightforward fight, honestly. And yes, I did say energy beams. No, he's not throwing beans. I did mean to say beam with an M. Got me some slack. Sometimes talking is difficult when I'm trying to fight a boss here. Every once in a while, when he goes to that top center area, he's gonna do that lightning bolt attack, and you basically just want to steer clear of that. But yeah, when I first started recording videos, the immediate thing that I noticed is just how difficult it is to talk and play at the same time sometimes. But I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten used to it by now, obviously. In general, for the most part. So yeah, center top here, I just get out of the way.
Hero, but I'm not ready to admit defeat yet. I will draw you into the dark world.
Link, it is I, Sahasrara. I'm communicating with you across the void through telepathy. The place where you now stand was the Golden Land, but evil power turned it into the Dark World. The wizard has broken the sage's seal and turned the gate to Hyrule Castle into a portal linking that world to this. In order to save this half of the world, the Light World, you must win back the Golden Power. You must also rescue the seven maidens who Ganon sent to the Dark World. As descendant of the seven sages, they have power that will surely aid you. The maidens are locked in hidden dungeons full of evil creatures and dangerous traps. The Palace of Darkness should be your first goal in this world. Link, you are our last hope. Please make this old man's wishes come true. I beg you.
Alright, so now we are trapped in the Dark World. We have to rescue some of the sages and so on. And let me just show you this real quick. This is the Palace of the Four Swords, so if you're playing the Game Boy Advance version with the Four Swords, you can later go in there to do some stuff, which I'll be doing towards the end of the series, but I just wanted to introduce it right now. Got all these little moblins here. I'm gonna head east towards where the first dungeon of the game was, but I'm gonna go to the Dark World alternative of it. It's a little Ropa enemy. You remember here was Maple and Syrup's house in the Light World, but in the Dark World it is a shop.
In such dangerous world, you may need many things. Select something that you like.
Not gonna buy anything, I just wanted to show you guys. These little enemies are called Slowrocks. They're kind of odd. I always found these to be weird. Almost like they don't belong in a Zelda game. But I don't discriminate, all enemies are equal to my sword, or at the end of a pot. Curses to anyone who throws something into my circle of stones. So of course I'm going to throw something in the circle of stones. This is the Lake of Ill Omen, by the way. It's the equivalent of the Waterfall of Wishing in the Light World.
Was it you who disturbed my peaceful nap? I will give this to you if you go away.
So this is the Quake Medallion. Its magic causes the ground to shake and defeats nearby enemies. Watch the magic meter. So it's actually a pretty powerful spell. It's helpful. So yeah, now I'm going to go to the Dark Palace, which, like I mentioned, is the Dark World equivalent of the East Palace, which was the first dungeon that I completed in this game. It's interesting to contrast what is in the Dark World compared to what should be there in the Light World. I just wanted to go in there and grab that Quake spell before I did anything. That way I'm continuing the progression towards 100% completion, as that's always the most important thing in any of my playthrough. So here's the outskirts of the area that I've been interested in. So, pretty close to the dungeon, actually. This little enemy is called a Hinox. Makes several appearances in other Zelda games. You may remember some of these being giant in Breath of the Wild.
You're new here, aren't you? Did you come here looking for the power of gold? Well, you're too late. It will obey only the first person who touches it. The man who last claimed the power of gold wished for this world. It reflects his heart. Yes, I came here out of greed for the golden power, and look what happened to me. To restore the golden land, a person worthy of the golden power must defeat the man who created this place. Until that time, I'm stuck in this bizarre shape. But what a mischievous thing to leave lying around, the power of gold. Triforce.
So there's some secret things here behind this cracked wall. That is referred to as the storytelling tree. There are other storytelling creatures that we will encounter in this game, and they just kind of give you some interesting context to the game. So if you look carefully, there are some spots in the canopy that you can kind of go through, as I am doing. I make it look easy, but when you're trying to figure this out for the first time, it can be quite confusing, especially this part here. Kind of have to maneuver in specific ways, but you'll hit invisible walls.
I'm Kiki the monkey. Kiki! I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees? Kiki, kiki, kiki. Good choice. I will accompany you for a while. Kiki, kiki.
So this monkey will follow you, and you do need to pay him 10 rupees because he is going to be needed in order to actually access the dungeon, as you will see here in just a few seconds. Hold on to your horses. The seconds are up. It's time to see.
Kiki, kiki. If you give me 100 rupees, I will open the entrance for you. Kiki, kiki. Kiki. Good choice. Then I get 100 rupees. Kiki, kiki.
So it costs 110 rupees total to be able to enter this dungeon. And here we are, so thanks for watching and see you inside.